Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Welcome, a little iteration of a Yiddish tune. Uh, it is now Rosh Hashana has ended on the evening of the 8th at sundown. And I hope everyone who celebrates had a wonderful Rosh Hashanah. And for those who don't know, Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. The Jewish New Year. But of course, like every Jewish holiday, they tried to kill us. We survived. Now let's eat. So Rosh Hashanah is no different than our other holidays of similar fates. This one marks the beginning of our exodus from the land of Egypt, and when Moses and Aaron and Elishuva, Aaron's wife, my namesake, led the people, our people, away from slavery and to their homeland, their new holy land, promised land of milk and honey. And we know that, I mean, anyone who knows anything about Judaism understands that the moment when we were exiled, not when we were exiled, when we made our exodus from Egypt, liberating ourselves, and Moses leading us. And we know that on the long journey to the land of milk and honey, that the oral law and the written law was given to Moses by Hashem on Mount Sinai. And so this event's very important. And for those who don't know, actually, it literally means Rosh Hashana means head of the year, right? In Hebrew. But there's a biblical name as well. It's called Yom Teruah. Excuse my pronunciation. And that means literally the day of shouting or blasting. And the reason is because we use something called the shofar, which you can see the two Jewish men holding in the photo. We also use this at the end of Yom Kippur, and it's let everyone, including Hashem, know that we're here and we're ready to we're ready to pray. We've survived. We've survived yet another year. We've upheld our duty yet another year, and we're on our way to eventually, hopefully, reaching the Messianic age. I wanted to share this holiday for several reasons. One, because I'm a very proud Jew, and I think there's a lot of misconception. One of it being about Judaism. One of it being that our biggest major holiday is Hanukkah. But Hanukkah, while it's a holiday we hold dear to our hearts, its popularity in the West, popped up in the later 20th century. It's always been one of our holidays. Um, Maybe I'll do a list about the different holidays in the future, or I'll do them as they come up. But I wanted to make this video because I just, as the description says, the one constant thing you see throughout Jewish history is is that they try to kill us or enslave us. We survive and escape, and we live on and fight on another day. And that's sort of what all of our holidays are about. And at the end of all this, one of the things we do is with our families or even our wider community, it's a big old feast. All the good food and the drinks are flowing, that's for sure. And it's a celebration. It really is, because like one of our darkest times, we had no Holy Land, we had no law, we had no Torah, written or oral. And once our exodus from Egypt happened, that's when we, subsequently Moses was given the law on his journey, on our journey to the land of milk and honey, the holy land. Holy Land, which is also another complicated subject I really want to get into more, since it pertains to politics, which is, what does the Holy Land mean to a Jewish anti-Zionist? I think that's a pretty important topic I want to cover as well. I think here I have an opportunity because I come from a Gentile culture, but I also have the perspective of an Orthodox Jew. And I really feel like this intersection gives me, especially as a communist, gives me a unique perspective that can really help us, understand the whole relationship between Judaism and its desire to be separate, but also included. And so I think that's a complex topic, and I think it's something that I want to try to tackle here. And I'd love to get other people on, especially other Jews, or even other people who are faithful in some way. I'd really like to speak about these sorts of things. But so Rosh Hashana started on the 6th at sundown of this month, but it's different every year. It moves. It has to do with the lunar movements and stuff. But this year it was on the 6th, and it's a 2-day celebration, and it ended on the 8th, which was yesterday. Yesterday evening is when it ended. And finally just getting time now to share with y'all about what it's all about. And, it symbolizes our Exodus and one of the most important points in our history. But I also want to point out that, Exodus is a story of liberation. It's a story of people unshackling themselves from the slavery of the oppressor and achieving their liberation, not just from slavery, but their liberation to be able to create their own nation and their own community, our own community, and our own faith and way of seeing the world. that was so different to the uh, polytheistic and henotheistic faiths of the time, excluding Zoroastrianism. So I think it's so important for Gentiles to sort of examine Jewish holidays a little closer, because you'll find out that a lot of them are stories of fighting against oppression, national liberation, tales that we can tell our children, and they'll have an allusion to the class struggle that's happening around us and the liberation struggles that are happening around us. And I think myself as a Jew, I should really push this idea to people within my community who are not leftists or communists, but appeal to them on a religious level, but towards the aims of, what all of our aims are, which is to construct a new society, socialism. And I think that that's something that the Jewish community should be open to, especially given our history within the communist movement. The stain of Israel is getting in the way of us being the natural allies to anti-imperialism that we should be, And stories like Rosh Hashana and and Yom Kippur and the story of the Maccabees and Hanukkah. These are the things that this is classic built-in tradition, a rabbinical tradition in Judaism that's also dialectic. It should naturally, I feel like, be on the side of anti-imperialism, justice, national liberation, but it's been warped by Zionists. And I think a lot of that has to do with their willingness to assimilate with the Gentile imperialists. And what they're doing now to the Palestinians, it's like you celebrate Rosh Hashana with a straight face. Are you truly a faithful Jew with a straight face when you celebrate this holiday? When you have yourself done the same crimes that the stories of our Bible have done against us to these very people, and even beyond our Bible and contemporary history. That's why I think that now more than ever, Jews and any people who have stories of the tradition of their people, I mean, we're Marxists. We should understand that this is all connected to class, and we can certainly do this for Rosh Hashanah. The enslaved masses, with the help of a charismatic leader and God. But it's these stories in the Maccabees, for example, freeing themselves from the Hellenizing Greeks and their pawns in Palestine. So it's these things that I think that I want to share as a Jew, and the kind of things I think as a communist and a Jew. And these are the things that are on my mind when I celebrate Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur or Hanukkah. These are the things that are on my mind. And I hope that, made y'all think a little bit. Maybe you can even look back at your own faith or traditions of your people and find these things to be proud of and uphold your community. Solidarity, y'all. Shalom, and God bless you all.